Hello everyone, it's Moonkin FEW back with yet another episode of the RC3 Coaster Challenge. In this episode we're tackling the vertical drop coaster, which of course the main feature or gimmick, so you say, is of course the fact that you go to the top of the lift hill, then you kind of stall, you sit back as you lean over, and then you're released and you drop vertically down. That's basically the main feature of this roller coaster. And yeah, I had a nice idea for this. So the idea is that you would drop down and you would go into this overbank turn, the large one, and then a smaller one. So the smaller one would kind of hit the ground level, and the larger one would basically take you out of this pit or this cave or this tunnel, and that's the idea. But as you can see, when I built that large overbank turn, there's a lot of ground that got uncovered, so to say. So I'm gonna have to manually fill that in, which is not gonna be that easy, but yeah, that's the idea I had. Of course, like any classic other dive coaster, after that you have a second you have the brake section, and then you have another kind of dive moment where you're not being held, but you slowly creep over the edge and then you drop down vertically again. So here you can see me using these pre-made blocks, so to say, with terrain, and I'm going to use that to fill up the the area that was uncovered by that overbank turn. And I'm gonna go ahead and make, again, just like the tilt coaster, I'm gonna make an area where, if you're in the roller coaster and you're about to drop down, you look down at this tunnel that you go into, and right next to it is a place where the guests can watch you. So that's kind of the idea. And yeah, that's how we're gonna move forward. So the track layout is kind of done, and we can start working on the supports. Now the supports actually owe me a decent amount of time, and that's simply because of these blocks, it was kind of, it was not very clear to see where exactly I could put these supports. So this area was kind of finicky, and it took me a while to figure out how to place these supports, but eventually I figured it out. So of course we need support for the rest of the track as well. So I'm just going to place these vertical beams first. Again, I'm using Moby Steel Jungle, my go-to add-on for custom supports. And I'm of course going to add slanted bars for everything as well. Luckily, I have some pre-made designs that I can add. You can see me adding that right now to the roller coaster. It saves me a decent amount of time. But there are still some sections that need some work. For instance, this overbank turn, I had some pre-made designs as well. But there's one 90-degree bank turn here that I do need an extra support for, else it's too little support, so to say. So here I'm just going to build a custom, I'm going to fabricate it on my own, and you can just see how many pieces you need to build one of those overbank supports. So that's why I use the pre-saved option. It just saves a ton of time. Now when it comes to the color scheme, again, I wanted to go for something different than what I usually go for. So I thought about this is kind of like a blue, kind of bluish color with a dark blue support color scheme. I thought it looked pretty cool, actually. I'm actually a really big fan. I believe there's one coaster that uses this color scheme. I'm not sure if it was Manta in SeaWorld Orlando or something like that. I believe it was a B&M Flyer with something of a similar color scheme. Maybe someone, again, in the comment section can correct me, because when it comes to real life roller coasters, I really suck at, how much I know about them in terms of this roller coaster, that. So yeah, I still got some homework to do in that department. Anyway, let's just keep going and focusing on the rest of the track. So here I'm going to expand this grass area a little bit so I can properly place that support. Of course, we need support for this looping, which I am going to use JCAT Steelworks for, because that piece really looks really nice. Now for this area right here, I'm just going to use BC's Path mods, but this kind of square object. So I'm not going to use curved objects because of the janky nature of those blocks I had to place with the ground, basically. I hope that makes sense. But this basically, using these square pieces from BC's Path mods work the best. So just like any other roller coaster, I'm going to add footers, of course, where it's possible, which makes the roller coaster look miles better. Then of course there's this section right here, which is the second drop. I'm just gonna, again, add some blocks here and lift the terrain a little bit here and there, so it just looks a little bit nicer, Then just working that out. And then of course I'm going to plop down the station, and of course, because this is a vertical drop, I also want there to be some fog in this, again, tunnel or cave section. I always really like to use that and add some extra excitement. At least that's my humble opinion, but I think that works quite nice. So of course we're going to add a catwalk for the final brake run, the mid-course brake run, and of course the lift hill. Now luckily ATH catwalk set also has ones that support very steep lift hills, which is good. And yeah, we're getting closer and closer to finishing this up. It was a little bit of a tricky design with that overbank turn, but I think it looked quite nice, and I think the ride experience is going to be pretty cool. So we're just going to add some trees around this track here, and yeah, that should be it for the vertical drop coaster. I'm just going to add a few more large Douglas firs here, and that is it. That is the vertical drop coaster done, and look at that. I think it looks pretty cool. I'm not sure why all the trains are stalled up on the front there. I don't know why, but yeah, the coaster itself looks really awesome. I like the color scheme. Yeah, I like the fact that I'm challenging myself not to use the same color scheme and try to do something different with this overbank turn, which was a bit finicky with the blocks I had to place. But yeah, I think it was worth it. So without further ado, let's see what this is to ride, because I imagine it's going to be really cool to go down that drop. So here we go, up the lift hill. And it's a very steep one, so we'll be in the max height in no time at all. Nice, here we go, turn around, slowly creeping towards the, yeah, how do you say it, like the stall element. Oh yeah, oh that's a nice view. Yeah, that's pretty steep. Here we go, into the fog tunnel, cave, whatever you want to call it. Oh, there's a piece that we need to paint red. Nice overbank turn there into a looping. Another overbank turn into our mid-course brake run as we slow down and we slowly creep down to the second drop. Once again 90 degrees. And a few final corners here and there. Small little pops of airtime here into a final turn into the brake run. Nice. There you go. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's really cool. So let me just see here. I believe it was this little piece here at the overbank turn I need to paint red. Yeah, it's right there. So let me just go ahead and fix that real quick, because that's a bit of a thorn in my eye. There we go. Yeah, that's much better. Alright guys, and that is the vertical drop coaster done. I can't save this because it goes underground, so if you would save this and plop down, it would just mess up all of it. But it's worth it. It just looks awesome with this drop. So yeah, guys, that's the vertical drop coaster. Thank you very much for watching this episode. I'll be back pretty soon, but until then, have yourself a wonderful day.